Welcome back, everyone. So today we're going to take a look at largely the rentals that were added. That's what makes up the most of the fleet at this point. And versus those, there's going to be a couple that were added that you could be purchased and added to your account as well. Well, purchased in game, they're temporarily at least added to your account, unless there's some kind of wipe that removes those. The rentals, though, those are for a limited duration. Largely, you can see here the pricing you're seeing now on your screen. First of all, is at Orison. And then you can see it's selected at 1 day. And then you would times this times 7 to get the 7-day cost. I didn't see a 30-day option here, but typically Live gives you the 30-day option as well. Obviously, this is in the PTU. So after we take a look at the Taurus here, we'll move on to Microtech. And then finally, I'll finish out with Hurston. So let's just really just kind of B-roll footage to take a look at these. So the new rentals available now are going to be the Caterpillar, there'll be the Carrack, the Constellation Taurus, the MSR, also known as the Mercury Star Runner, or I should say the Mercury Star Runner, also known as the MSR. We have the Raft, the Corsair, the Hull A, the C1. I believe the Nomad is new on this list as well, but I didn't do a very good job about keeping track of which ones are actually new, which ones aren't. The SRV, the 315P, and the 300i are both on here as well. I'm not sure if one of those two might be new. The Sulin is definitely new to the listing here. And then we have 3 Auroras. I don't remember all of them being on here, but there's the Aurora CL, LN, and ES. Most of the others I think were already on this listing before, so not really of note. So as you take a look through these pricings, it's going to be what makes up largely of what you can expect to pay. Now, looking at the actual new purchases that you can make in-game, there is the new X1s, which are like hovercrafts, but there's also the Sulin as well, and the Sulin can actually be purchased in-game. I think the Sulin is a decent grab. I like to use that one just to kind of get around town. It's just fun to get around the It's just unique, right? It's something different sometimes to kind of fly around in. It's a little under 3 million, so it's 2,778,000 and 300,000. So 2,778,300. I think I said that funny the first go around, but it's a little under 3 million there. And then the X1s, again, they're more like hovercraft and could be used for racing and whatnot. But the X1 is the lowest cost one. It's 105,840. And then right above that's going to be the Velocity, the X1 Velocity. It's 119,070. And then we have the X1 Force, which is 132,300. So a wide variety here. So after we get done taking a look through these, if you're just here to take a look at this data, thank you all for checking out the video and appreciate those that take the time to like and sub, especially if you're interested in seeing more content like this and up-to-date on-Star Citizen stuff. But next, I'm actually going to take a look and break down some of these rentals and see which ones are really worth time and money, like how much they cost you per SCU. So let's get into that. All right, for the next part, we're going to take a look at what is available here to you for the rentals and some of the breakdown on some of those numbers. That being said, I have some kind of red boxes and stuff in here. I did have the Prospector in here, but I went ahead and took it out of the data set. It has SCUs, but unfortunately it's just for mining. So it's not like you can convert those SCUs into usable space for stuff like cargo hauling. And the focus of this next part, it really is for cargo hauling and people that might want to use ships for cargo hauling. So I did remove the Aurora and stuff like that, or the Arrow, and some of the other ships like that that were meant to be largely for combat and things of that nature that don't have any SCUs. So really this is a comparison of how many SCUs how much does it cost per SCU that can be carried in a particular ship. And this is open a little bit to interpretation because some of these ships have, like the Carrack, for example, has like a vehicle compartment. So you could store SCUs in there if you wanted to. It's not really a stable area, but at any rate, some of these SCU numbers can be kind of mingled with a little bit because even stuff like the Avenger Titan, I think it can carry more than 8. It's just how you go about it, essentially. That being said, the Constellation Taurus here is red because of the current bug that it has. Sometimes it just won't power on. So I've tried, flight ready, just powering up. It's a mess. So that's not all the time, but I don't know how to also reliably get it to stop. I don't know if you have to just send it back down and then bring it back up, if that'll fix the issue. It does seem to come and go. I noticed that this last PTU patch has been worse again, but the time before that, it seemed fine. I went to start it up like 5 or 6 times with no problem. So I just want to make people aware of that. I don't want you to waste, put this kind of money into a rental when you barely have that kind of money and then find out that your Constellation Taurus is borked half the time, right? So you don't want to ship that you've invested money into. That being said, it's a really good ship and a really good option. You can do a lot with it. So it's really unfortunate to see that I have to kind of, honestly put a bork on this and like let you know that it's a bit of a mess. The Carrack here, I've got it marked red because these SUs are largely inaccessible, unfortunately. So the Carrack is just currently a flying brick with a cargo bay that's not really accessible. So that being, like, what I mean by that is you can't actually, unless you want to load one of these 456 SU boxes at a time, it's largely incompatible with the current upcoming, I should say, 324 cargo hauling model. It's just not going to be a usable ship. So if you want to pay this $1 million to see the ship, that's one thing. But if you expect it to actually do some work, that's going to be a whole other issue. It's not going to do it for you. So it's really not worth taking a look at this one. Next up, I do have a breakdown of cost per SCU. This is the cost per SCU on the rental price. So, the best one here is going to be the Caterpillar. It offers you the most SCUs per amount of amount of AUEC. I can speak. Amount of AUEC per SCU. So like this 200,000 almost is giving you most SCUs you can actually carry for a rentable ship at least. That being said, there's some other good picks here. The Taurus is a good one, but again, I kind of mark it as a red. Like it's kind of use at your own risk. I don't see that happen a lot. Like I said, it seems to be come and go, but I just want to make people aware of it because it is such a great ship, and I really wish it would. This is its time to shine, and it has this nasty bug to it. Additionally, here the Hull A, I think a really big winner here. The Hull A, I wish the Raft was a little bit better. The next three are yellow because they are the next well performing. Actually, I guess the Catalyst Black here is performing better than the C1. So mostly accurate data. I guess I missed that here. So we'll just say the top four, and that I didn't totally miss that. So anyways, so there's a couple here that are good options that are kind of mid-price. I think the Raft here is a standout, and again, the Hull A is a bit better than the Raft, obviously on the pricing, but the Raft can carry more. The Hull A and the Raft, I think, are going to be strong performers. When you kind of think about pirating, I think you're not going to find a lot of people are just going to scan you down. Like, sure, if you have a C2 or a C1 or something like that, and you have cargo in it, obviously you don't necessarily know what's in it. But a pirate isn't super concerned with scanning you before they're taking you down. They're probably gonna take you down anyways, and then see what you got. So it's like there's not enough time to like, oh, will you hold still for a second while I scan you to see what you have in order to decide if I want to take you down or not. So I think the whole idea of having a Hull A or a Raft that shows cargo, they're either going to go after you or they're not. And honestly, Hull A and a Raft are probably, Raft maybe, but a Hull A at least is too small, too slim pickings to share with the crew of pirates. So if someone's just messing with you, you're probably just messing with you. You have 64 SUs of something or other. And I mean, if you have RMC or something, even then it's still, I mean, it's good money. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like it's, I don't know. It's just one of those things where depending on what kind of boxes they can visibly see, they might mess with you. Otherwise, most people, I think, at this point, I think most people are going to be really interested in actually trying out the gameplay loop. So I think there's going to be a lot of leeway this first, and I could be wrong, but I suspect there'll be a lot of leeway with people having cargo and visible cargo because everyone else is going to be doing the same thing, which is hauling cargo around all over the place. So again, the Hull A and the Raft, I think, are strong picks here. Hull A being a bit better here on price to cost ratio. It just depends. Maybe if you like the Raft a lot better. I mean, the Raft just has a nice vibe to it. It's a nice second kind of cool pick. What I have here is a percent of the price for the rental. So, you know, it's costing 3% of the total price of the Carrack in order to actually rent it, which is kind of dastardly compared to some of these others. I mean, some are getting close to 3%, but anyways, because it can't even perform, that's really unfortunate because I do like the Carrack as well. Definitely from a second kind of cool. I mean, I appreciate its interior and everything like that. Next up, we have a look at if you decided to do missions that could pay you 25K. This is how many times you'd have to do the mission to actually purchase it in game. So like we look at the 17.9 here. If you wanted to rent the ES, if you could do a mission that gives you 25K, you don't have to do that mission 17 times in order to actually be able to purchase it in game at this just under $500,000 price. So I mean, that puts things a bit in perspective. That being said as well, we don't know yet how these missions are going to be paying out. I think a lot of this is just assuming you're going to be doing a couple missions at the same time. So you could do multiple cargo missions at the same time. Maybe some people will be doing that in order to get to this 25K, 50K, 75K, so forth and so on. We don't know what the pinnacle of the cargo missions is going to be because we haven't really got that rep level going on yet, at least not that I've seen. So I know I haven't done it. I'm looking forward to the actual live in order to grind that rep up. But as far as what we're seeing largely from cargo missions is like the rookie mission. So we're looking at the maybe MRT level. It's probably more like the LRT level. But at any rate, we're looking no higher than largely MRT levels when we're looking at cargo running. The cargo hauling missions, at the end of the day, there should be more income you can make. Will it make it to like 75K per mission? I don't know. We'll have to see if we get to an ERT level, what that looks like. You know, if you and even then you probably need at least a Caterpillar or bigger anyways to run those loads as it is. So, and to haul those. That's about it. Thank you all for taking the time to catch the video. And thank you for taking the time to like and subscribe. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.